A very, very one-sided game that was. And the thing is, if the first 3 playdays of OXG shows up, I think this will be a very competitive series that favors OXG. However, if that's not the case, if there are consistency issues, they bleed into this series too, this could be a quote-unquote easy dub for Beast Coast. But things will start on Villa. We just saw that map being the final deciding map between the previous matchup of M80 and Sonics. And Operator Ban so far looking very familiar. Ying just having a perma ban rate today, not gonna see any play. And you spoke about it, Parker. Some teams are banning Brava against OXG. And what do you know? Another team, Beast Coast, will add that to the tally, and Foxay says, no! Oh.
Don't read what Newer said. Don't read it. Don't read it.
Oh my god. Valkyrie.
You almost did, didn't you?
I almost take us out of pure instinct.
There you go. Now you can say what Newer said.
Oh, he's a
frick.
freak. My bad.
Frick.
He realized. He's been a bad boy. Valkyrie, first ban of the day. It was utilized a lot in the previous series. And Mira, same story. So just based off the Operator bans alone, we're going to see a very different Villa play out in front of us than that in the previous matchup. And that is exciting to see because we can get a whole different take at this. And maybe it won't be as defender-sided.
No, absolutely. I mean, if you go back to our matchup before this and you watch it, obviously these matches are not watched together all the time. Sometimes this will be watched in isolation. Maybe you're an OXG fan, maybe you're a Beast Coast fan.
True.
Maybe you didn't watch the previous matchup. Frost and Solus were banned in every single one of the Sonics versus M80 game. So we've already seen a huge difference. Ying, as you said, permaban, the only staple so far, only consistency. Villa being played for the second time today, first time between these two teams. I'm excited for Chalet. We'll see if we get to Cafe. But the Brava ban already. Some exciting stuff. I like that very much. OXG are not starting on attack. Beast Coast are. They banned out Brava. They know how to play around it. How will Foxay recover?
I mean, the good thing of Foxay, he starts in defense, and he has like 6 rounds now to kind of cook it up when the side swap comes around. Bomb site, first choice for OXG is going to be that, I believe, the Torture bombs of kitchen dining. But I would say that calling it a Torture bomb site is a bit outdated because nowadays, in the current meta of Siege, it is very favorable to play those dynamic vertical bomb sites. And this one right here is one of those. You can play inside a kitchen dining, sure, but extend other floor above into that trophy statue area and Astro, etc. Just kind of lock that map down more. Beast Coast, they got a big map to work with. That pre-fire almost takes down Foxay. He's going to be surprised about that one.
Let's take an engagement on that main door. I don't know if that's an ideal spot for him to be in. Vert, former member of OXG, will look for his revenge. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Oh, he's going.
Oh, hats off to the races. And he takes the head right off a Dream, and he's right back downstairs.
Yeah.
Find the opening, exploit the opening, get that first pick. Kaid is gone. If the Electric Claws were still in the back pocket, Dream dies with them.
And one thing that I have to say about Beast Coast, that they're very good at recognizing their own limitations. You see it, Hat gets the initial entry and immediately falls back. There is zero question in his mind like, oh, should I stay for a second? No. You get the freebie, you get out, you got the wall breach, you have accomplished the mission and more. And now OXG, constantly under pressure, have to respect that pantry area. They close it up with the cube barrier, but now Beast Coast, they've started step 2. They've now rotated up above, taking master bedroom control instead. So they're everywhere. Yet they're nowhere at the same time because no one's really inside the building. It's
a good pivot on their end, but just because you pivot doesn't mean that you're going to do so gracefully. Vertical dies without a single whimper to Sweater. And like that, Foxay finds himself with a cohort also low on HP. A 4v4 with a minute and a half to go. It's a bit of a sluggish match, as we did see in our previous matchup that just concluded. So it's a slow start to Villa.
Yeah, Hannah's now made his return back to where things started off, but a minute and a half later in the round. The one thing the Beast Coast do not have right now is the verticality, but they are looking for a basement kill onto Foxay.
He's made it all the way downstairs, and Hat is in, looking for that pick. Foxay strike. There's the drone. Oh,
that's risky.
I don't think they saw him. So Foxay can lurk down below with nobody watching. Keep a barriers designed to plug that hole that was opened up in pantry. Hyper from above, annihilating Sweater. Not too much of a challenge. Now it's Yaga's turn to die to Hyper from that same spot up above. Fox A lurking, but you got to get in quicker because it's Newers to stem the tide against this Beast Coast team. Flicks onto Hat, and there's Fox A on the flank. You can turn this one around. There's one prone on the ground, but Fox A doesn't seem to see it. Down goes Newers, and now Fox A has 3 targets to find. Gets them at the last second, skirts away, and as they swing, it's Duck to get the final kill and give Beast Coast round number 1.
That is so close. And remember, the reason why that flank happened was because Hat had to drone out the bomb side just 30 seconds earlier in that round. If that drone had stayed, Fox's flank doesn't happen, and that round is cleanly played by Beast Coast. And I have to say, if Foxley had played it a bit tighter there, he could have waited another 3 to 4 seconds before killing the planter, and then all of a sudden, a clutch was very, very possible. Instead, there was 4 to 5 seconds left. He chose to stick around, fearing that they might just plant in a safer position. He loses the initial 1 versus 1 gunfight, and with that, also the round. Beast Coast in clear control for the majority of that, but there was one big saving grace for them. Hyper up above, finding those 2 vertical kills really opened things up. 2 key members and key corners on the bomb side that was shutting down the entry point, put out of business. And that allowed them to walk in and get that plant attempt down. And with that, the initial early lead. Bomb side change for the defending team, it makes sense. You don't want to go there twice and when things aren't working for you. So I gotta go up above 1 step. Frost mats, we haven't seen those in a while, Parker, because as you mentioned, Frost was always banned in our previous matchup, so a welcome sight, maybe, maybe not, depending on how you like those traps in the windows or not, but it makes it harder to entry, and that might be why Hat's on Hibana now. You know, you can say, you know what, I don't want to deal with this, I'll go Hibana duty instead, open up some walls and allow everyone else to do the job instead. Mr. B might be the supportive player of his team, but actually more of a flex player at that. He will play Harbage if he has to, line, etc. And even sometimes Mr. B will get very aggressive himself and try and look for those opening kills, especially on defense.
Ooh.
That's the real deal, or?
They might come to blows there. It is indeed the real deal. Vertical getting revenge on Fox A. Said, that's what you get for dropping me. Walks right in, gets the pick. He's still holding that position. He's got Hyper with him now as well, and they can start to clear out some of this off-site just setup that was there. OXG's fallen off that position over towards Aviator. They get a little bit closer to Trophy and Statuary. That's where the bomb site is. Sweater's lurking down below on Oryx. He can ascend those stairs quickly and have a perfect line of sight into study where 2 of the players from Beast Coast currently sit. Question is, will he have the wherewithal to do that? Sure looks like it. If there's no flank drone, this could be a big deal. He sees the top of the hammer from the sledge, but Hyper is just simply better. There's been a lot of criticism towards Hyper's performance, but he's 3-0 to start off this map, and that's exactly what Beast Coast needs.
Yeah, I mean, if he died to the flank of Switter there, that would have been a very poor position for his team. They lose the grenades, you know, it's sure they have Iana as well, but they also lose the hammer if they want to do end destruction later in the round. Now, Hyper done a great job of staying alive, having that drone duty, so Beast Coast leapfrogging. 1 person holds the flank, 2 members they push forward, and again, they are everywhere all at once, just finding and securing these seemingly easy kills, like no one's really truly fighting back.
No. Get into a worrying spot where that OXG that got 7-0'd and did not have the performance last week that they wanted. There's Dream to get the very first kill. Newers dropped. It's Dream in a 1v4. Newers doesn't even need to be secured. Look at that. Beast Coast, formidable through these first 2 rounds. As clinical as ever. As they walk in, dispatch those OXG players. And OXG only has a couple kills to their name through those 2 rounds.
Yeah, I'm actually really impressed at how well Beast Coast have been to it. Like, enable Doc and Hat, like the newer players, both in the team, but also in the league. These are young players, and we look at this and say, Vertical has experience, Hyper has experience, sure, but they're not necessarily what we say, like, leadership figures, not necessarily. When we look at, like, Canadian, maybe something like Foxay, but Mr. B himself, he is the IGL, the captain, the leader, and he's very animated on camera, and he always seems to be in high spirits, laughing, waving his hands and head around, doing silly things, and honestly, I am very impressed at how quickly they've gotten young gunners up to speed at playing both disciplined, but playing with confidence and playing aggressive when they have to, going for those openings, and even someone like Vert, who honestly had a bit of a rough entirety last calendar year, having some games where he just wasn't showing up, he kind of looked like he had lost his confidence and not taking those engagements. Both rounds now to open things up, he is in the building, he has taken engagements, and he is in the fray of things. Sure, in the first round, he did a bit of damage with the Foxy, then he died to Sweater, but then round number 2, he doesn't care about that. He walks in top main, just takes the kill, and then slows down, casually, calm, and collected. It just seems like Beast Coast, they have a system in place, and everyone's playing into it, and it's working so well for them.
It's the Mr. B secret sauce, man.
That's what we're saying, yeah.
It's the Mr. B secret sauce, as they all like to say. Mr. B is a person almost mystifying, because I didn't keep my finger on the pulse of Tier 2 Siege, as well as a lot of the other talent here has. In fact, got quite a number of people that have been active in the NA League who quite intently study Tier 2. Cookie's obviously Lynx. Even Jesse's been following it quite a lot. And they know exactly what he brings through reality TV. And we saw him almost make it to the major, in fact.
Yeah, they were close.
Not the most recent major.
No.
Not the Copenhagen major, because now he's on Beast Coast. I mean, he could qualify for that, but either way, it is nice to see just how good he can be as a leader. And he's got good tools around him. I mean, you're getting a lot out of somebody who was predicted to be the worst performer on this squad, and he's the 6th highest rated player in North America right now. He's holding his own against people like Spoit, NJR, J90, Grixer. That's good company.
Oh, that's very good company. Like the best company, arguably, in the NAL.
Oh my.
It's close. Got the yellow ping.
And there it is, and they capitalize off of it. A Capkin trap takes out Hat. We discussed his impact. Won't be much for this particular round. Both teams lose one. No direct gunfight engaging from OXG, though. They'll let their gadgetry do the talking instead.
Yeah. Beast Coast again doing the pinch and the push. They got that study balcony pressure. Also getting that Rister's kill that opens things up for a flank towards 90. And with that 90 repel, it just further enhances that. It's not a one-sided dimensional push here. They're going to be striking Red Stairs, 90 repel, study balcony, and OXG, they have to worry about so many areas of the map at once. With Valkyrie being banned from Beast Coast, they don't have the information to know that this is coming. And that nade, it just hits the mark perfectly, taking out Sweater. Now it's going to be about to Dream and York in these 2 crucial positions to shut it down. Foxy on the main stairs as well.
They're fighting from behind. Beast Coast with the advantage, 40 seconds to go. Smoke, the canister, toxic canister, choking out Doc. Hyper and 90, still deathless at the moment. Dream down, it's Foxy as the only member of OXG. Again, they are struggling to find multi-kills at this point. Through 3 rounds, unless Foxy can do something here. It's only 5 kills. Diffuser going down, so goes off, but Mr. B gets off it in time. Doesn't lose anything enough to kill him.
Damn.
That's not the spot that you want to find yourself in. That Nitro Cell should have been good enough. The ascent back up the stairs with shotgun out, softening up Vert, but it's Vert winning against Foxy yet again. It's the exact same thing that happened in the previous round. And it's looking clinical as Beast Coast storms out to a 3-0 lead.
It's very important for OXG that they don't let this affect them mentally, because when you're getting quote-unquote run over, as I would say, for a Villa attack and defensive side, like this is as bad as run over you can get pretty much. These are almost flawless rounds from Beast Coast. As long as you can keep your mental intact, you're in a best of 3. You gotta play for the long game. Even if you go, and Kino kind of talked about this in the interview, even if you go down 0-6, it's not over. It's round by round in a vacuum. Okay, maybe you got smoked 3 times in a row by the same player. That sucks, that's annoying, that's frustrating, sure, whatever. But you look at the rounds individually, and you try and do your best every single time. If you don't win Villa, then you go next. You go in Chalet, whatever. You try and fight out there. Early timeout by OXG. Another smart thing from them. Again, just try and sort the issues, talk through them. Now, I don't think this is going to be necessarily a super strategical timeout. I think it's going to be a mental check, wake-up call, get into it, guys. Things are not working. We're not operating the way we should be, or the way that we have been the last 3-4 weeks. I don't think you discuss, where do we go next, bomb side-wise, guys? No, maybe an overarching, play style preference. Guys, play more passive, or guys, play more aggressive, or guys, try and, they're always doing this, try and punish this specific aspect. Right now, if you shut down the entry, that open and kill duel that keeps going to Beast Coast's favor, that's the first thing I would touch upon. Try and get people to play together in duos, so that if a fight were to appear out of nowhere, you have someone next to you to back you up in that fight. Because right now, it's individual members of OXG fighting multiple members of Beast Coast, and obviously, they're gonna lose those fights.
So, timeout taken, and you said this was the tertiary bomb site, where teams don't always like to go to start with. Only small problem that we have with Villa at this moment is that in NA, this is only the 4th time it's been played. Been played twice the previous week. So it's all been very recent. And, I mean, the stats on it aren't fleshed out enough.
No, they're not.
If you're looking at it and saying, okay, well, it was only played 12, or it was only played twice, and it resulted in 17 rounds. If you go to OT, there are 30 possible rounds that could have been played on Villa, and instead there's only 17 getting played. Yeah. Those are quick maps. Very, very quick maps. So you can't look at some of these bomb sites, which over 17 rounds will only be played 3 or 4 times, and say, okay, we've got a good understanding.
No.
Because in the last match, on Villa, M80 versus Sonics, Living Room Library was played twice. That almost never happens.
No.
So one single play can completely change the stats. So we kind of fly blind and we say, you know what? Let's take this game by game, see how Villa's fleshing out. Right now, it looks like a very attacker-sided Villa. When M80 versus Sonics, it was extremely defender-sided.
Yeah, that's the thing. And different team play styles, and of course, over the bench, they all play into it. Right now, it's just a matter of Beast Coast having a really good grasp on how they approach these rounds. OXG, round number 4, after their timeout, they're playing a... Look at this. They're all near the site. No one's roaming far off the map. They're right above the bomb site, inside of Trophy, Astro, and Master Bedroom, and then they're on the site itself. But then Vertical just walks in and says, "You're mine."
Not on to Foxy, but it's a former teammate yet again when he was on that squad. Down goes Yaga. Vert's consistency issues were something that you discussed. Hyper's been battling consistency issues as well for Beast Coast. But both of them showed up huge. 9-1 combined. Doc runs into Dream, who, by the way, was in the middle of the site. Dream in the same position that he was in before. Now it's Foxy dropped from above. Hyper, once again, proving why he was so highly sought out, despite his stumbles in previous weeks. 5-0 to start off this matchup. Vertical looking for one as well to add to his tally. Newer's exchanging a bit of HP. Down goes Hyper. Hyper's first death. He was the last player that needed to die. Now everybody's died once. Ow, Vert. Excuse me. All right, Vert. Well, I mean, I suppose that's it for your reign of terror. Both of these teams, back and forth, back and forth. It's the same conundrum that Beast Coast found themselves in before with the setup over by Pantry. 30 seconds to go. This is something else. Is Mr. B safe? I think he's safe.
Yeah, he can plant here.
Absolutely. Takes down Dream instead. OXG is left to just Newers. 1v2. Doesn't have a read on where the diffuser is going down. Walks on in. Sees the head, but for a second. He's got the target lined up of Mr. V, but there go the flashes. Newers, unfazed by it, still in his position. Takes a breather, drops onto the ground. Nobody from Beast Coast needs to engage this. Beast Coast looking for 4 in a row, and they get it with Hat. And the diffuser down. Good lord, this one's speeding by.
Yeah, I have to say, I honestly think Beast Coast could have won this round a full minute ago. The only thing that stopped them was the fact that Mr. B was holding the rotation bottom red stairs, but he was also the guy carrying the diffuser. He had no easy or safe route into the bomb site. He was afraid that if he walked down the red hallway, he would die from the red stairs or from living room next to him. If he goes out the window, the master bedroom hatch, not in their control. So he was just, I can't leave this position, but I'm needed on site. So instead, he's probably making the call that, guys, try and find kills on site, and it's why we saw Vert get so aggressive. And while they found some, ultimately, they needed the diffuser. It came down to that 2 versus 2, and once Mr. B arrived, funny enough, the round was won. They can play the objective game again, they do so successfully, and in 4 rounds, 2 rounds diffuser goes down, other 2 they just get all the kills. It's 4-0, and I think if you're OXG right now, you are thinking, what bomb site do we even go to? Because we've tried 2 different sites now, didn't work. Very big playstyle differences, different operators. They're gonna go to another library. So we're seeing 3 library defenses in the last 9 rounds of Villa, basically. Unheard of. And again, very big operator style changes for OXG. Solus being played, Maestro being played. This bomb site, all about the information and verticality. And of course, Solus can shut down those injured drones, which, you know, I think OXG think that they have way too much intel for Beast Coast just making these aggressive plays.
I mean, they're undefeated on entry.
They literally are.
The only time that OXG got a first blood was technically when Hat ran into a Capcom trap.
True.
And I think that's kind of cheating. I mean, yeah, you do get the first pick, and you get the advantage from it, but you didn't necessarily earn that. Usually, early round Capcom traps are the negligence of the attackers not seeing where the EDD is.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
We talked about drones maybe being a bit too strong. Solus needed here. Okay, fair enough. But there's logic bombs to assist them and a Jackal as well. So tons of tools from Beast Coast being brought to pin down the location of the defenders.
Yeah. Now, the only thing is, Beast Coast don't have the best tools to get a plant down. They have a single set of smokes and Doc on the Jackal, who's in the basement right now. But besides that, they don't have much else to work with. Vert with a nasty punch hole, but gets punished for it. You can't see much through that, and Yaga, he hears the punch hole for sure. Gets that easy pre-fire. That's the first opening kill for OXG.
Yeah, and it's uncontested, which is exactly what you want on a bit of a oddity on that living room library bomb site. And we can't keep calling it an oddity if its pick rate continues to climb.
No.
3 times this bomb site has emerged today, just today alone.
So this is a bit awkward for Beast Coast because you pretty much need to take control of the ball for just relying on your smoke grenades. When you got the Maestro cameras on set, I can see through the smoke. Doki calls could stop that, of course. What Sonic tried was the Osa to get the Talon Shield down to plant behind it. Beast Coast don't have that luxury. They're gonna send it. What?
Mr. B's in, got Diffuser down, or at least down on the ground.
It can't be that easy, surely.
Point it sure looks it. They read the smoke incorrectly. Nobody's engaging in these duels. Mr. B gets out of there, but dies to Newers. All right. 3 left for Beast Coast. Need to ensure that OXG can't hop onto this diffuser. Oh, nice shot from Sweater, but it's Hat on the coverage. Hyper from above as well. He sees the feet. Hat still in this very powerful position. Somebody might have to go up top to deal with it. Hat looking for a 4K. Sweater doesn't know where to go, and it is indeed a quad kill. Hat is better. 5 in a row to start off Villa. Beast Coast in full control.
They fully gambled that the plan would go down because you can see it. The positions that Beast Coast were in were for the post plant. They didn't have anybody really covering the diffuser except for a single member that was Buck. Red Star's member holding red flank. Had up above on a vert control, locking things down. They were just saying, Mr. B was like, guys, I can plant. Like, trust me, when this goes down, I will probably die. But if you 3 can hold it down, we got this. So they played post-plant positions even before the plan went down successfully. That is madness. The sheer confidence in the strategy right there, unmatched. 5-0 now. OXG, they're nearing the point of no return where it's just like, GG, go next. They need to just enter the second map of Chalet with their mental in a position where they are not devastated and where they can still comfortably seek out engagements and take fights with confidence, because I fear for OXG that if they lose the first map in a one-sided fashion, as this very much is, that is going to affect the series that is a best of 3. We'll have to see. Right now, Beast Coast, I mean, they have so much wiggle room. They can take crazy risks if they want to, but they're not typically the team to do so. They play a very stable, relatively consistent style of Rainbow Six Siege, but they don't play it safe. They do take risks, they do play with that aggression, that front and forward kind of spearhead mentality when they need to, but they can also just sit back and go, let's drone, let's try and plant, let's throw some smoke grenades. With how little time they've had together as a team, they honestly have a very, like, they have a lot of depth, I would say, in terms of playstyle.
Good lord. This is not how I expected this to begin.
No. Wait, there's some life.
Hold on, there's some life. Yeah, indeed. Newers picking off Hat. That's 7 kills sitting on the bench. But guess what? There's depth for Beast Coast. You got a couple players that can back him up. And there's one of them. Vertical, walking into a Capcom trap. That's gonna smart. You gotta look down. I'm begging you. Newers with 4 kills is the best performing player for OXG at the moment. Foxe and Yaga, 2 players that you usually see getting kills, but not as much as Newers and Sweater, are sitting at a combined 2. OXG wanted Yaga. They sought him out. M80 had some nice things to say about Yaga. But
no, guys!
We talked about consistency issues. There's a couple players in here that have suffered the same fate. Doc is recoverable.
Yeah, it costs so much time and energy, right? And he's on 20 HP now. Yeah.
Unideal.
Unideal indeed. Minute and 20 on the clock still. They got secondary impedes and Hibana pellets.
That's technically 4 Capkin traps that have gone off so far to Beast Coast players. How are you up 5-0 and not checking simple door frames?
I mean, that might be why, right? I mean, doesn't matter. We're winning so hard. Nothing can stop us.
I mean, at this level, you cannot be winning too hard.
No, you cannot be winning too hard. It matters so much. And I mean, they get the 90 wall worked upon, the vault wall itself, the secondary MPs, impact just goes out. It's got the 9 entry point, but still applies a line of sight to Sweater. Of course, could be taken off from that vault position. Oh, Foxe.
Nade does almost all of Foxe's HP. No healers from OXG, so no way to get your life back up. Doc, the operator, not the player, was a staple in the previous match that we watched. Won't be present here and no Thunderbird on the board either. There's toxic gas going out to do a lot of damage to the remaining players, of which both Vertical and Doc could conceivably breathe in that toxic fumes and die. They've opened up some of the back of the bomb site. Does Doc know this? Can he peek it, get the pick inside a vault? Mr. B getting the diffuser down, and there it is. Doc swinging on the Sweater. Somebody has to come in. The C4 goes off in the wrong direction. OXG trying to shut this down, but every single player is being found from Beast Coast. Dream has looked at oftentimes like one of the best players in the NAL. He finds himself in a 1v3 with diffuser just ticking away. He's the one who plants on OXG. He knows this position quite well. But he's given away and tagged up by the soft wall, now over, dropping Mr. B. But every single time he does this, he's wasting time. Deftly maneuvering out of the way of a nade, still inside a vault. Impactless kills to the moment. He'll hop on the diffuser. He knows that it might be a little bit pointless. 1 HP, shotgun out, Vertical will finish him off. And that's Beast Coast pulling off a perfect 6-0 first half.
Yeah, a perfect 6-0 attacking Villa with roster changes against one of the best teams in the NAL. Sometimes that is OXG, who's of course struggling with some consistency issues, but also just the sheer fact that Beast Coast, they just recognize exactly when they can get the diffuser down. I mean, OXG had a C4, and it gets tossed out, and it's like, it's so demoralizing. Like, guys, I got the planter, whee! And then he doesn't die. He's supposed to die to the C4, he doesn't die. And because that small, you know, devil in the details scenario, you lose the round. And now, Beast Coast, they will go AVG defense on what I would argue is the comfortable side of Villa, being on the defensive side, and they're in a perfect position to quite literally just 7-0 OXG right now, right here, and go next. Now, operator lineup, pretty familiar. They got the Capkin, we've seen that already, plenty of that. Meant to be on smoke, always a staple. OXG so far not really choosing anything out of the ordinary. Foxe is on Twitch because of that Brava ban. Gonna serve the same purpose. Instead of overtaking gadgetry and cameras, you'll just simply destroy them. So you don't gain as much value, one could argue, but you get the same job done essentially. Yark on the Jackal Dewey looking for roamers, then the rest is just grenades and hard breach with Ace, Iana, and Sledge. Starting position for OXG is going to be 4 members on the statuary side, with that single member of Yark gonna push from master bedroom, can scan for feetsies.
No, we said no more of that. You promised.
Did I, was it a promise or just did I say?
Promise no more.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So just in case you're curious, the last match that OXG played in before getting to this
don't do this.
7-0 victory for Space Station.
Yeah.
That means that OXG didn't pick up a single round. Their match before that was a 7-2 victory for Sonics. OXG, though, did win the second last round, so it's not like they won the first 2 rounds and then got 7-0'd after that.
Okay.
But it's been a long time since this OXG team have won a round. Do their fortunes change with them going to attack? Because so far, with the exception of OXG getting an uncontested first blood back in the 5th round, every single major stat is lopsided in favor of Beast Coast.
Yeah.
There's no real glimmer of hope for OXG on this map right now. None, period. I'm not gonna lie to you as a viewer. This is a miserable performance from OXG. So, do they pick it up? Do they have time?
So if you're the devil's advocate and say it's been a phenomenal showcase from Beast Coast as well to counter-argue it. But
well,
yes, OXG is not playing up to their standards, that's for sure. And they're struggling with main stairs right now. Toxic Babes buying time, Key Barrier goes out, but another one in the pocket of Docs keeps his main stairs position alive. There are no more nades from OXG. There's been 4 grenades for 2 Key Barriers. They gotta walk up my main staircase and just gotta go absolutely nuclear. That's the only way in.
Just wasting time at this point. Now you put up the barricades, back away. There's a toxic canister from Mr. B. Foxay taking his lumps. There's the first pick yet again. Hat has been a superstar for this team. Closing in on double digits. Hyper punished by Dream. Advantage now in favor of OXG. This is the best shot that they've had in a long time to win a round.
Yeah. There's no smoke on the board. Time favors the attackers. Vertical has a singular C4 to his name. That can do a bit of damage, but they gotta find kills.
Oh, they found one on Hat with Sweater's shot. Down they go. Beast Coast being reduced in numbers. Vertical trying to get back to the bomb site. Cannot be done. OXG not getting 7-0'd today. They pick up their first round on attack.
And that's something. Even if they go 7-1, right? Just winning that singular round, it gives you something as a player. Be like, okay, we can actually shoot back. We have a chance. This is not just us playing that poorly, but it's close. And of course, you can tell their faces, they're not super happy with that round victory because they know they have so much more ahead of them to bring this back.
And no timeout either, Nick. That's the other thing,
Yeah,
too.
they don't.
They burned their timeout at the tail end of the third round, and they've just been falling since. No way to catch themselves, no way to slow down the descent. It's just down, down, down. And I know for those of you in OXG's fandom, you might not be happy hearing these comments, but I think honesty is very important when it comes to a broadcast. And when we see the way that OXG has been playing, disjointed, uncoordinated, playing for themselves, Beast Coast say, okay, these guys like to roam too freely. Okay, they like to hold too many positions, disconnected from one another, hit the bomb site quickly. At least 3 of the 6 rounds that pop to mind were, at some point or another, Beast Coast walking in with defenders still up in numbers and getting control of the bomb site.
Yeah. Twice.
Cannot let that happen.
Yeah. But I mean, if you are a real fan, I will use the term real because there are some bandwagon fans for any teams, any sport for that matter. You also recognize when your team is playing poorly and when your opponent is playing really well. This is a mixture of both, to be fair. But still, OXG got the first round in their pocket. They go with a similar lineup. Of course, Yogg is on the floors now for a bit more destruction because those nades did not do the job in the previous round. And Dream going off of hard support onto the offset instead. The core lineup of, not the core lineup, but like OXG is a team, historically, one of the first teams way back when to actually play, back in the reciprocity days with Foxay, to play Villa without a hot breacher. Where they would play 5, quote-unquote frag-oriented gunners, or operators rather, and just go for kills. And now I think if you're fighting up against Beast Coast right now, breaching a wall and not breaching a wall is probably not going to be the round-defining factor.
I mean, it's crazy because you got a buck on the board. You could very easily run a hard breach gadget if you so choose.
Yeah, it is a stylistic choice that they say, we don't need it.
It's the right call. I mean, we've seen rounds be won without hard breachers on Villa before.
Yeah, I mean, last round alone, there wasn't much hard breach needed.
Correct. Maybe an ace to puncture small opening.
Oh, that's not it.
Doc taking out Foxay. Foxay could end this first map 1-8, well below his own standards. Doc pulls it off yet again on the Newers. A dumbfounding shot.
Yes.
And then another dumbfounding shot.
That's brutal. And you see, he's gonna stick around. That is Vert, however, cast inside of Bar Gaming. He's gonna linger for now, slow things down. Actually, he gets escorted back by Mr. B, I believe. That toxic, Hat on the smoke. Toxic Babe goes out, allows her to run back, and they're gonna say, play the 5v3, guys. Do not throw this lead. This is match point. It's serious business time. Or actually, they gotta check all the corners. There could be a guy hiding somewhere. That's gonna buy them 20 seconds. Now, the issue with attacking this bomb site for OXG, you typically need a member on the master bedroom balcony to kind of cut the bomb site in half. They don't have that, and they don't really have that much time to rotate. It's all on Dream and Talon Shields trying to get some cover. Now, there are no impact grenades to C4s from defending lineup, so they will do a lot of value here if they can get them down.
As long as they don't get overpowered and somebody off-site doesn't take advantage of his position. Hat will be this line of defense. Can he stop it? Talon Shield's going out in a different location. And Hat sees him, but cannot outduel Yaga. OXG still very much in this, even though Beast Coast with the upper hand. Doc a third kill. An ace is possible as Hyper is removed from action, but they'll plug the hole to prevent OXG from getting in as the Kiba barrier denies a walk right into the B bomb site. Down goes Dream to Mr. B, and there's only a single player left. Sweater and OXG unraveled in the first map. A stunning 7-1 on Villa for Beast Coast. And that's one of the most dominant performances we could see from this team. Good Lord.
Yeah.